all ZOA Warriors.
This is the Fuel Something Bigger storytelling series.
I'm your host, Raymond Braun, and we're here in Dallas, Texas to meet ZOA Warriors who are doing big things in their community. I'm about to make a fool out of myself.
Step to the left.
Okay.
And you're gonna step over.
Okay.
Over the net though.
I'm honored to sit down with John Alexander, an incredible athlete who's leveraging football to get back to his community and open up a conversation about mental health.
So what's the something bigger that you're working towards right now?
Something bigger I'm working towards right now is building up my community in a positive way. So right now I just opened my first nonprofit. It's called Alexander's Athletics. And what I want to do with that is just give the youngest hope, basically. Telling people to believe in themselves because a lot of people wait for the world to tell them they're good before they go. Just really trying to give somebody more than I had, at their age.
One thing I love about Alexander's Athletics is that you're not just helping with all of the physical training, but you talk a lot about mindset and mental health and being a human, like you've talked about off the field. So what's some of the advice that you give to your players and to the young people in your community around mental health and how to take care of themselves, particularly as men?
Yeah, I honestly tell them to choose themselves. That's a big thing that I struggle with about 2019, 2020, was just choosing myself. Just trying to put everybody else's needs ahead of my needs. And that honestly was taking me to a dark place. I'm not talking as somebody who's never been at the lowest. I was at Kansas State. I had a lot of people following me, young people on our football team. And I had it pretty bad growing up, but they had it worse than I did. And I was like, bro, you guys need to go to therapy. They looking like, I'm not going to therapy. It's like, okay, I see what's going on. I can't tell somebody to do something if I'm not doing it. So now instead of telling them go to therapy, I'm like, bro, when I went to therapy, I had this experience. So now they can relate, now they can understand what therapy is. I kind of changed the narrative of what therapy was. Oh yeah, he's helping himself, he's confronting his problems. And just, I made it cool.
There's some people that might look at you and see the success and, with grind culture and people online talking about you have to be completely locked in, they might not think that giving back to the community or spending time volunteering or mentoring is going to serve their athletic goals or their fitness goals. So why do you think it's important to make time for that?
I think it is because it's important to have a life outside of your profession, because I tell them that it's summertime, go have fun, because this isn't forever, no matter how you want to look at it. I feel like the biggest thing that we were put on this earth to do is to serve and honor others. Football is fun, but I use football in a way to serve others. That's why I interact with the fans. That's why I like to show love to everybody. That's my way of serving God. That's why he gave me that platform, to be able to serve others.
A few years ago, Daniel Flores ran his very first 5K. Now he's getting ready to race in Leadville 100, a 100-mile race that takes place in less than 30 hours.
Yeah, so Leadville 100 is in Leadville, and the city is at 10,500 feet. So think about doing, let's say, 4 marathons back to back. You can't really see much. And you're going up and down the mountains, the Rockies.
But yeah, I found it's like a cascading effect of once you find that unlock or realize, oh wow, I'm really capable of a lot more than my self-limiting perceptions might have led me to believe. What else can I do? And so I'm sure you've seen growth in other areas of your life than endurance running. Like, tell me how you've kind of expanded that aperture in your whole life and things that you've learned from the running training, how it's carrying over into the rest of your life.
I used to struggle with a mile or two. Then I signed up for a 5K, and it was a big push, right? So 3 miles, it was like, whoa, like I'm able to do this. And then that's when the correlation happened of like, hey, if I can do this, I can do the same thing in other areas, whether it's like mental, whether it's, building better relationships with my family, my friends, my community, with my faith.
Tell me more about your decision to make Si Se Puede kind of like your rallying cry.
For the Hispanic community, Si Se Puede means that, like, hey, keep pushing, it's possible. And the first time I started to think about it was when I did a 50 miler. And I was like, man, my body is just taking a hit, it's giving up. And then I just started to tell myself, like, Si Se Puede. And eventually went from mile 40 to mile 50. Got it done, and I was like, you know what, like that's special.
I'd love to dive more into your why. I mean, I know firsthand how important during those moments when you really don't want to wake up at 4:30 a.m. or keep pushing, whether it's during a run or with the nutrition and having everything so dialed in. So like, what is your why?
So for the most part, as a Mexican immigrant, you're trying to survive. So a lot of the times you're working 2-3 jobs, you have a family to support, and then running is really not something that you think about. So for me to be able to go for something that seems impossible, I hope that can inspire others to do the same. It doesn't have to be in the endurance space. It can be like someone that wants to get into med school, into, I don't know, maybe like a single mom raising 2 kids that wants to have a better future. So just like attempting something and making it happen.
Now we're going to chat with a local leader who's dedicated her life to making public spaces and the great outdoors more accessible for everyone. You do a lot, Alicia. How would you describe kind of what your passion is or what you do to people?
My passion is nature, I would say. I'm part of the Dallas Junior League, and I'm on one of the committees. It's our parks project, and there's an initiative within the next like 10 years. I think it's like they want 70% of like Dallasites to be within like a 10-minute walking distance to either a playground, a park. My dad used to always say growing up, like land's one of the only things they're not making more of. So I really think that like sometimes we get too focused on like just building things up that we're hurting the environment, we're hurting ourselves. It's important because you need fresh air and like the time to reset. You don't have to love the outdoors or decide you want to be an outdoors person, but just having access or like an experience. Like you could just go sit outside on your front step and just like breathe some fresh air, go to your local park. Like I think people think that you have to be like hiking a mountain or something like that. It can literally be just going to your local park for like 20-30 minutes. If we thought more about the impact that we were having, I think we'd all be better.
We can't visit Dallas without checking out Howdy Homemade Ice Cream, a pioneering business dedicated to creating jobs for people with Down syndrome and other intellectual and developmental disabilities.
What's your favorite part about your job?
Part of my job is being able to help pursue dreams for other employees.
Tell me more about that.
So basically our mission is to like help people reach their goal and possibilities of giving them a job where they can hire disability kids and adults.
And why is that important?
So I think it's important to have what your dreams are and go after them.
How do you want people to feel when they walk into your business?
Like they belong.
I definitely felt that. How do you create that? Like, how do you create an environment where people feel welcome?
I'm always kind.
Always kind and have a positive attitude.
Exactly. And when you have that positive attitude,
It makes others feel good about themselves
exactly.
just because of the impression you give them.
Exactly. I think you do that really naturally. Your favorite part of the job, like what do you look forward to every day?
Is we always talk about this eating ice cream
Eating ice cream?
and doing the cash register
Okay. That must be
because I love the money.
You love the money. Are you good at counting money?
Yes.
Yeah, and you like taking the money too.
Maybe.
Had an amazing time in Dallas, and now we're off to our next stop.